Trying not to sing Backstreet Boys. Just passing the time. It's 9 a.m., 9:01 specifically, a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time, Monday, August 28th, 2023 AD. How you guys doing? I'm live on multiple platforms. We're going to have a fun show today, guys. A nice throwback from Michael Knowles, not to be confused with Beyonce's daddy, whom JLP interviewed. Both of those Knowleses, the white Knowles, or Italian, or whatever he is, and the black one, light skin black. Yes, about the mentally ill Swedish child. I love that clip. It's a Hake classic in Hake's mind, right? A classic. Not related to Hake, but... and some other things going on in the world. I hope you stay tuned. JLP talked about climate anxiety. I may talk about it as well, because it's a very interesting phenomenon. I've talked about it a lot, honestly. Mentioned it anyway, a lot. There's frustration about people blocking roads in the UK and in America, even in DC. I do not have the clips for you. There's so much cussing. Maybe I'll take the time to edit out the cussing. But, this is not American Anchor Baby or Nick Stream. It's not rated R American Anchor Baby. So this is rated G Hake. It's a super blue moon on Wednesday. Super blue moon. Do you know what that is? It's Monday. Everybody loves Mondays. And I will get to your calls, guys. Get ready this week. We have Joel Friday on Tuesday. We have Wow Hassan on Wednesday, right after Hake. So get ready for a great week, hopefully, if the Lord is willing, right? If tomorrow happens. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I'm excited because I'm wearing my Jesse Lee Peterson 2024 t-shirt. Nice. Oops. My bag. And it says, I think right here it says, rebuilding the country. Wow. By rebuilding the man. And it has 5 stars, top and bottom. Cool. And this was a one-off print from a supporter, a listener. And so it's not exactly the same design as that which you can find on the Fallen State Teespring store. shopthefallenState.creatorspring.com. And then you just scroll. There is a Jesse Lee Peterson JLP 2024 shirt. But that one is more colorful. So it has blue and red and JesseLeePeterson.com and a picture of JLP's face. Rebuilding the country by rebuilding the man. Nice. You can go to rebuildingtheman.com/stores. We can't see the lint, Hake. Yeah, we'll call it lint. That's what we'll call it. Reminds me of those commercials, those old 80s and 90s commercials about, these fashionable people who wear black and they have nice hair, but something comes out of their hair. And I never knew what it was, but sometimes my cousins would shake my hair. And anyway, I have some throwback commercials to share with you guys. So, but first, Let me get right to a call here, guys. It's Monday. Everybody loves Mondays. William is in California. Happy Men's History Month to William in California. What's up, man?
Hey, happy Men's History Month.
Thank you.
Hey, yeah, they had some things happen this weekend. So, where should I start, with the good or the bad?
Let's start with the good, because otherwise we will not be able to hear the good.
Yeah, it's a lot of bad, huh?
Yeah, because the bad, once you tell the bad, you can't even hear the good.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so let's hear the good first.
Oh, the good. Hey, Willie Mays is in hospice right now.
Oh, really?
He has to be man of the month. I would say complete month. He's the American treasure.
Okay.
He's the greatest. That's Barry Bond's godfather. He's the greatest. He would be the one that came out of the tunnel with his uniform tailored to all of his muscles and everything, and with the logo Giants, and we were little kids, and we would see him at Candlestick, and he would spend time with the kids and invite kids from the boys club to his house.
Nice.
And you get to wear a jersey or use a glove or use a ball or a bat that belonged to Willie Mays, and you get to use it for a day under one condition: you have to bring it back.
Whoa. Cool.
And, Willie Mays played professional baseball with his dad.
He was a black dude, and so he was strong? He was muscular?
Yeah, he played all sports, basketball, football. He was better in those, but he just chose baseball, and he would turn pro at 16 years old.
Wow. The Say Hey kid.
He couldn't play. He couldn't play varsity basketball and football because he was drafted by the bigs.
Okay.
At 16.
Willie Howard Mays Jr., born in 1931.
Yeah. And listen to this. He played professional baseball with his father in the outfield together.
Wow, that sounds like what... Did you hear Big Bump's segment on this?
Listen, he told his dad, he said, Dad, his father said what? He said, quit.
Whoa.
Yeah. Willie Mays.
Who told whom to quit?
He told his father. He played on the field with his father, professional G League, whatever it is. It was professional baseball. He was 16. The Giants were looking at him, and they played professional together on the field, and he told his father to quit.
Okay.
Because he was just that much better.
Nice.
And Willie Mays was raised by his father.
That's cool. You remember Big Bump? Remember when Big Bump filled in for Hake? He talked about how blacks used to be in baseball because blacks used to have their fathers. Yeah. His father and mother divorced when he was 3, but his father refused to let his mother raise him. Willie Mays has 8 or 9 siblings, 3 brothers and 6 sisters, something like that. Old school. But, wow, divorce back then, huh? Divorce even in the 30s. Divorce even happened in the 1930s? Yeah, sometimes I guess. I can't be the judge. Yeah. Yeah, probably not at the high numbers that there are now. Yeah. Yeah, right. For sure. So, I know. His father raised him, and, the pros followed him around. I put pictures of Willie Mays in the folder, actually. This is around the time when Jackie Robinson turned pro and opened the gates. So, Willie was a young star at 16. And he said, I got 500 a year, my junior and senior year in high school, because I was, on the farm team, and they followed him around, and they slept with him at the hotels to make sure nothing happened to him, even though he said it wasn't that bad. He said nothing would really happen to me, but they kind of chaperoned him, in other words. And he always, really, he actually visited every elementary, junior high, and high school in San Francisco. The older school people were, I don't know, they were arguably a lot more decent than nowadays. He didn't seem to complain, if you look at his documentary. Yeah. He doesn't complain. Well, winners don't tend to. Except for, with the rare exception of LeBron James. But I don't hear him complaining about playing. He just complains about America. He doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't complain about working hard. I don't think.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
So Willie Mae. Yeah,
Shout out to LeBron James.
Hey, China. Hey, so we had a shooting in Florida
Yeah.
at a cheap grocery store, right?
Yeah,
General,
Dollar
whatever.
General. Yep.
All right. So the guy is dead, and if he was racist, he was racist. So what?
The murderer, the alleged murderer, died, huh?
Yeah.
He died.
He's dead.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So you won't have Professor Crump at this one.
Why not?
So the guy's dead.
But Professor Crump, the guy doesn't have any money, so I mean,
No,
Professor Crump.
nothing to get. So he's dead. The people he shot are dead.
There were no survivors.
And he didn't like black people. Okay, well, there's nothing written saying that he has to like black people.
Right.
And he's just a sick puppy, and what he did wasn't cool. And you move on.
Yeah.
Now, all of the drama, I don't see you getting roused up about the football game in Emeryville that just happened just recently. And
What was Emeryville?
Torrance, they had something in Torrance just recently, too.
Down the
A fight
street?
broke out
Down the street
at
from
a
us?
mall. Yeah. Yeah.
A fight broke out at a mall?
Yeah. And same
What was
thing in
Emeryville?
Emeryville. Emeryville was at the mall, too. So they tore it up.
Oh.
And that's right there by Berkeley, like Cal.
Oh,
So,
okay. NorCal.
Which is next to
Teen
Oakland.
takeovers.
Yeah, right there at Oakland.
Teens.
Emeryville, right there.
Yeah.
So they fought. Torrance had a big one. Football game Friday.
Yeah.
Shooting.
Right.
What was it? Did something happen back east too? Right.
Yeah.
At a festival.
Yeah.
Caribbean.
In Boston. Yeah, the Caribbean
Shooting.
Festival. Or Caribbean.
Okay.
I call it Caribbean.
All right. And a few other things happened. So
Oklahoma. Well, you mentioned the football game, Oklahoma, I guess.
yeah, that was Oklahoma.
A restaurant in
So-
Louisville, 2 dead, 5 wounded. And I was
Louisville,
thinking that might have
correct.
sounded, that sounds kind of black, Louisville,
Yeah, kind of.
maybe.
So I mean, I'm not saying that it is, but as of now, there looks like there's more black crime than anything.
Right.
And like my friend Joe in Phoenix was saying, this little percentage numbers he was talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's basing that on the fact that the little percentage numbers he's talking about being represented is responsible for 60% of the crime in the country.
Yeah.
So, and it's not that big of a population of black people in the country.
Yeah.
So let's think about the fact that it's over 60% of white people in this country, maybe closer to 70, and the fact that this is actually the Johannesburg of the white people. There's not that many black people to affect anything. So if somebody killed you, a bunch of people that's black, because he don't like blacks, first of all, there's nothing written saying that he have to like blacks.
Right.
And second, he's dead.
Uh,
And third, his victims are dead. We move on.
yeah. Yeah, you move on, but that's not how that works. They like to harp on it in order to go after. It's anything to get whites.
I think it's kind of useless to say that when black people maim people every day,
Right.
it's not racist.
Kevin
It's
Howe.
revenge.
Kevin Howe claims that there's 40 to 60 mass shootings every month, and I'm not checking his numbers. I'm just
Yeah,
sharing
I
what he
mean,
says.
it's much more than what they're reporting with this isolated incident down in Florida.
He claims 98% are done by blacks, mass shootings.
I wouldn't be
AIU
surprised.
goes over them every month in a video that he makes. Oh, okay. Atheism is unstoppable.
I
Interesting.
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they do
High.
most of them. And some
They
of
do. I mean, that sounds kind of high, but I mean, I'm not going to argue with
Yeah.
them. But I mean, it sounds kind of high, but I wouldn't be surprised.
right. It's wild. Well, that's rough, man. Thank you for the tip on that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
This is the Johannesburg of white people.
What's Johannesburg? What do you mean by that?
In other words, the way that the black people took over South Africa is because it's mostly black people there.
Oh, that Johannesburg,
use
South
your
Africa.
common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. They took their country back over because, and it's a mess, because it's more black people there in South Africa.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to happen over here in America. You have the same thinking, but it's not going to happen. Now, the homeless problem, they said, they're chattering a little bit about it, and the solution is, you're going to be surprised when you hear this. Whew. Public housing.
Oh, no, that's terrible. That's no solution. That's been hell for everyone because it enables degeneracy. That's why the projects are known to be terrible, is because you're just enabling evil.
But they said they're not putting them in the cities.
And irresponsibility. What, they're putting them in the suburbs then?
This is the plan.
They're putting them
in
the suburbs and rural areas. That's not good.
Out. No.
Terrible.
No.
What a mess.
And they say it's going to be isolated. So they say they got to do something because they don't want people don't want them sleeping on their stairs.
I know. Or in their lobby with I'm looking over at Hassan because he mentioned how one put up his whole mattress inside his lobby. And
I'm just really flipped out on the fact that the final solution is public housing. I'm like, all of this, we went through all of this reparations and letting you do crime. That's your payback, your so-called reparations. I guess one of your callers or super chat said that it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Let them steal and get away with things for a period of time. I mean, surely they don't think that this is going to be like it is right now forever. It's not.
Well, I got to keep it moving, William. I appreciate you, man.
Keep it moving, man.
Take care.
All right.
Take care. Have a good week. Tony in California is on the line. Of course. Tony in California. Happy Men's History Month to you, man.
Good morning, sir. How the heck are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I wish you had let me spoke with William.
William?
Because I had a few questions for him.
Oh. Well,
but it's too late now.
As the spirit leads, hopefully not the satanic spirit, I allow callers to talk with one with another.
Oh, I understand. But
that's too much entertainment for a Monday morning on the Hake Report.
Well, hey,
too much.
We can't never have too much, my friend.
Oh.
But the thing is, as I was about to say, William said there's no racism in America.
He said that?
Yeah, he said that before.
Oh, I didn't hear him say that. I thought he said that white guy who shot up the thing was racist, according to him. Big deal.
Because he had no other choice but to say that, because dude left notes in his computer that he hated black folks.
So what? That's not racist.
It's not?
Nope.
What is racism then?
No such thing.
It is such thing.
No, racism is what you people cry when you accuse whites of being what you are.
Well, you just gave me a form of racism when you say you people.
That's not racism, man. You just don't like whites to have their freedom of speech to tell the truth as we see it.
The thing is, when you always say white, black, Mexicans, or Jews, or whatever, that's a form of racism. We are human beings.
No,
We are human beings in God's eyes.
I never said you
God
weren't.
did not divide us. Man did.
Yes, he did. He specifically divided us with the tower. Ever heard of the Tower of Babel?
That was in language, not in color.
But he divided us.
In language, not in color.
But he divided us. You said he didn't divide us.
So so let me ask you this then.
And your language is a little bit different from mine. But anyway.
But still, we're human.
Right.
You go to the restroom the same way I go to the restroom.
Whoa, TMI.
You bleed the same way I bleed. Your heart pumps the same way mine pumps.
Well, thank you.
It makes us human.
Right. How come you don't treat me human then?
Not white, not black, not purple, not blue, not orange, but human.
Why don't you treat whites human?
The same way. Okay, I'm glad you asked that.
Uh-huh.
Luke 7:7. Do unto others as you have them do unto you.
So you're treating us the way that you wish that we would treat you?
Amen.
Oh, really?
Hey, what goes around come back around.
No.
You reap what you sow. These are God's laws, not man's laws.
Wait, so repeat the Luke verse again?
Do unto others as you have them do unto you.
Do unto others as you have them do unto you, or as you would have them?
Yeah.
Which one?
As they do unto you.
No, don't do unto others as they do unto you. That's not what Jesus said.
Well, Jesus ain't never said nothing. This is man saying that. Jesus didn't say nothing, so that's another lie.
You're confusing the whole passage. You're saying do unto others what was done unto you. Is that what you're saying?
You reap what you sow.
No, the Bible, Luke says do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Tony, what kind of
the Bible 5,000 times.
What kind of a God believer are you?
Okay, so reap what you sow then. How about that? What goes around, come back around.
Right, and so are you going to reap evil because you're sowing evil? And
Is
revenge?
God evil?
If you sow revenge, are you going to reap revenge?
In the book of Isaiah, didn't it say that God...
No, answer my question. You're not God. Answer my question.
No, you asked that one.
Are you going to sow... I asked you first.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you going to reap evil since you're sowing evil?
If you hit me in my face, I'm going to hit you back, bro.
Oh, okay. So that's not... You don't follow what God is about.
What is God about?
Mercy.
This ain't about God. This is man's written book. This is a man-written book, bro.
Yeah,
and it's also
inspired by God for men to live better lives than how the blacks are doing it with this revenge and anger and malice.
Didn't it say in the book of Isaiah that God created evil and good?
Probably.
No. Don't dance around it.
I'm not dancing. I don't remember. Probably. I think so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So since God created evil, you think it's good to be evil?
And if you got to protect yourself, hey, you do what you got to do, bro.
Oh, so it's protecting yourselves. So this black on white crime, they're protecting themselves.
Of course it is.
No, that's ridiculous. You just admitted. You just admitted on another show, on the JLP show. No. Hold on. I'll let you ask that. But you just admitted on the JLP show that the black on white crime is not racism; it's revenge.
It is.
Yeah, so that's evil.
That's not evil.
Yeah, it is. Vengeance is God's. He will repay, not the blacks.
No.
Vengeance is not the blacks. The blacks are not God, man. You black supremacists.
We are in God's image.
It doesn't mean that you can take revenge. God specifically said vengeance is mine.
I will let you stomp all on me, take my stuff, and don't do nothing but be humble and be like Justin Lee Peterson and say, thank you for taking all my stuff.
Yes.
Or thank you for hitting me in the face. No.
Yes.
Jesse won't do that. I seen one of these Jesse shows that...
I'm just going to go ahead and hang up on him, his mess. But thank you for your call, Tony. I appreciate it. Terrible. Let me get quickly to one more quick call, right, before we get the show started. Joe in Phoenix, Arizona is on the line. Joe, how you doing?
With the tower, ever heard of
Joe? Joe's not ready. Joe, you boomer or Gen Xer or whatever he is. We'll fix Joe. Terrible. Well, I need a break from the calls anyway. How about this? Let's get to this favorite clip. Yeah, let's get to this favorite clip. This is a classic favorite. Clip 11. Hey, clip 11, and it's not even 30 minutes into the show. This is so good. September 23rd, 2019. I know it's old, okay? Fox News guest Michael Knowles calls Greta Thunberg. That's the Swedish rough pronunciation of Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg, a mentally ill Swedish child. And that's a YouTube video of a Fox News segment, and I edited it together with another piece of that interview. Michael Knowles based Michael Knowles, Catholic. He's like Irish or Italian or both. I don't know. And he's with, Daily Wire is Ben Shapiro and others. Nice outfit. A little hit and miss in some ways, but Michael Knowles, I appreciate him, and I appreciate all those guys for what they are. But he was on Fox News at that time, a frequent guest. And this is 2019 again. Him versus Chris Hahn. Christopher Hahn. Christopher Hahn is that Mr. Beta Male, whom JLP called him a Mr. Beta Male during the China virus scam-edemic. A year later, JLP was interviewing on like a RT or somewhere with him versus Christopher Hahn. But this is Michael Knowles versus Christopher Hahn on a show that was guest hosted, I guess, with Harris Faulkner. She's the black one. I think she's interracially married, by the way. Just a side note to a white man, I think. Harris Faulkner of Fox News. She's that sort of classy black lady. and her reactions are funny, too. Because she's such a lady, right? At least she plays like a lady. She plays a good lady as on Fox News. So here's 2 minutes and 9 seconds, clip 11. Check it out.
None of that matters because the climate hysteria movement is not about science. If it were about science, it would be led by scientists rather than by politicians and a mentally ill Swedish child who is being exploited by her parents and by the international left. So what you're seeing here is a political movement and a religious movement, and it's fulfilling religious and political goals of the left, but it isn't doing very much for science.
Chris, you had a visceral reaction to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you're a grown man and you're attacking a child. Shame on you. She's trying to do what she thinks is right. And by the way, now relax, skinny boy. I got this. Okay, you're attacking a child. You're a grown man. Have some cool.
I'm not. I'm attacking the left for exploiting a mentally ill child.
Maybe on your podcast, you get away and say whatever you want because nobody's listening. You're on national television. Be a grown up when you're talking about children. She's trying to save the planet because your president doesn't believe in climate change, and kids need to take to the streets to worry about their future. You are despicable for talking to her about her like that, and you should apologize on national television right now.
I think the international left and her parents who are exploiting a girl with many mental illnesses.
You called her mentally ill. Take it back now.
She is mentally ill. Take it back now. She is mentally ill. She has autism. She has obsessive compulsive disorder. She has selective mutism. She had depression.
You are despicable.
Her mother wrote about this in a book. You can inveigh all you want, but unfortunately you don't have any facts on your side.
You're despicable. You're a grown-up. Be a grown-up.
Let's change gears a little bit here.
If Meatless Fridays was good enough for the Pope and the Catholic Church, I think Meatless Mondays would be okay. And by the way, I've been all over America. Some of us could use to take a day off from eating meat. It wouldn't kill us. And if it helps the environment, great.
You are obsessed with people's weight.
But you told me I'm too skinny.
Exactly.
Well, maybe you need a little more meat. Sorry.
You know what? Let's Chris Hahn. Mike Knowles. I don't know what you guys are normally like outside of television, but wow. Thank you. More of the story next.
That was the story with Martha McCallum. But thankfully, the black lady who goes, whoo, she reacts anytime somebody cusses or says something aggressive. Inveigh. I learned a new word from based Michael Knowles. And by the way, they say, you're attacking a child. That's the setup, huh? That's why they put up a woman or a gay or a black woman or a mentally ill Swedish child. You're attacking a child so that you can't criticize them. That's why they put that gal. They were all, when Rush Limbaugh called her a slut. Sorry, kids, don't say that too much. Remember that gal? Sandra Fluke, she said, I need $10,000 every 3 months for my birth control. I'm probably fudging the numbers by a lot, right? What a slut. That's a lot of money for having sex out of wedlock in college. We need birth control, free birth control for women in college. Something like that. And he called her a slut, and then he had to apologize because his sponsors were leaving because they were getting all this pressure from the evil people. So Inveigh, Inveigh. I knew how to spell it, even without having heard of the word hardly, or known what it was, I don't think. To speak or write about something with great hostility. You can inveigh all you want, but the truth remains. Michael Knowles told the truth. He said she has selective mutism, she had depression, autism, anxiety, all that mess. Rest in peace, Rush. He's looking down from heaven. His talent was on loan from God, and God called him home. We hope. We think. We don't know. Inveigh, to complain loudly, to give voice to one's censure or criticism, says spoiler alert per Wiktionary. And the dictionary is fake news, but that's cool. Fox News, of course, apologized to Greta after somebody told the plain, hard, cold truth. This is all phony. It's the emperor who has no clothes. These people are just pushing drama and fear, and now the children are even more worried about something that is in the future. The future. They're worried about the future. Terrible. Joker said to think about the future, and what did they do? They're thinking about the future. They're listening to Joker. It's not good. Fox News, Faux News apologized to Greta Thunberg and their listeners. Their listeners loved it. We like hearing the truth. That's why we liked Fox News. It was refreshing to hear somebody tell the truth. Finally, please. When JLP was on the show, all kinds of great responses because it's refreshing. The truth is thrilling, as Tucker Carlson wrote about Donald J. Trump in like 2015 or 2016. In like Politico. He wrote an article in Politico. Trump is vulgar, hilarious, and right, or something like that. That was the same day, apparently, that Greta Thunberg, per far-left BuzzFeed News, which I heard was being closed down, delivered a powerful speech, according to two females who wrote this article, and maybe their editors, and then shot Trump a death stare at the UN Climate Summit. You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. Oh, by the way, that same evening, Laura Ingraham on Fox News, Faux News, clip 12, compared Greta Thunberg to Children of the Corn, which is a movie I haven't seen, okay? Stephen King, dumb liberal, horror book writer, and they make movies out of his books, and he doesn't always like those. 18-second clip or so. Check this out. Greta.
We will not let you get away with this. The world is waking up. And change is coming, whether you like it or not.
Whoa.
A time of tribulation has come. A test is at hand. The final test.
Yeah. And then there's Laura Ingraham. She shared that. She's like, I can't wait for Stephen King's new book, Children of the Climate. What a mess, huh? You like that, huh? Hassan? You familiar with that movie?
Absolutely.
You like it?
Oh yeah, I'm basically modeled majority of my life off of that kid.
That kid is it. So he's like a cult leader.
Yeah,
I gather.
Yeah.
Children of the Corn. Yeah. I've never known anything about that movie. I've heard the name. And
like
crazy.
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies is another one I've heard about, but I've never read. It's a book, right? Maybe it's a movie too.
But yeah, I think they made it. Yeah, it's a movie.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's funny. I like it.
Well, thanks for telling us about it. Oh man. Well, if you gather what it's about,
you're right. It's
pushing a cult.
It's a young. He's a little kid cult leader.
So that's what you wanted to do?
Well, I look at it more like Tommy from Rugrats or like...
I'm not familiar with that either. This is going under my head.
Well, anyway.
Tommy from Rugrats, he's like the leader.
Yeah.
The kid leader.
He would always get the mischievous like plans going.
Nice.
And he'd be like, we're going over here. And
I could see like you got a little mastermind in you. A little bit of a schemer.
You gotta galvanize the troops sometimes.
That's pretty funny. Both Lord of the Flies and Children of the Corn villainize red-headed men, according to one of my graduates. The Rugrats were Jews, says Potleaf 355. Interesting. Well, thank you, man. Let me get to Joe in Phoenix. He corrected his phone. He was playing the show rather than listening to the show through the listen line or through the phone line with no delay. So Joe in Phoenix, Arizona, thanks for calling and holding. What's up, man?
Yeah, sorry about that. I had you on my computer and my phone. It was a big mess.
Yep. Understandable. You're a boomer, right? Are you a boomer or Gen X?
I'm Gen X.
Oh, okay. Still understandable.
Yeah, so,
Happy Men's History Month.
Okay, James. I don't mind that one too much, but okay.
Nice.
Anyway, William, buddy, it's not about whether the guy who shot the people at a Dollar General had the right to not like black people. Of course he has the right to not like black people. What he doesn't have the right to do is act on those feelings of hatred and kill people.
Yeah, but he's not suggesting that. Of course, but the crime is the killing. The crime is not the. There's no such thing as a hate crime. We should abolish. Do you agree we should abolish hate crimes legislation? They're just divisive.
No, they're not divisive at all because it applies to everybody.
No, but it's only hyped. It's used in order to hype and speculate about the motives of the whites only.
That is not true at all, James.
No, but it's true. It's in the mainstream media. That's effectively how it is. I know that blacks disproportionately commit so-called hate crimes per the numbers, out of
a tiny fraction do, but
right,
no,
but they're way overrepresented among so-called hate crimes. Blacks are
black people are, or white people are.
Blacks are overrepresented in hate crimes compared to their share of the population. They're far more likely per capita to commit a so-called hate crime.
No, most hate crimes per the stats are by white people, James.
You're saying most are, but I said they're way out of proportion black. You don't understand math and proportion?
I know you like to default to the...
Do you understand math and proportion?
You know that it's only a tiny, tiny fraction of black people that commit violent crimes to begin with.
Right, but do you understand proportion and how blacks are overrepresented
I know how
in hate
you
crimes?
to go to the per capita stats. I understand that.
Right, so you understand what per capita means? They're overrepresented?
I've always admitted from day one that the black thugs are the worst thugs in terms of being the most prolific.
Right.
I've always said that.
Yeah, and so blacks are overrepresented in hate crimes.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, yeah, you need to check out Real Vincent James.
From who?
Real Vincent James. He's a journalist.
I will check him out. Real Vincent James. Okay,
yeah.
I'll check that out.
Yeah. But I'm surprised you don't know that.
You and I have debated the 1.05% number many, many times, and you know it's true. You know it comes from
I don't know that that's true. You used to say less than 2%, and it's gotten lower and lower each time you call in.
No, I've always said 1.05%.
Now you're lying.
Very clear. I'm not lying at all.
Yeah, you are. Well, you're misstating. You're misspeaking.
You're wrong.
No, you used to say less than 2%.
No, you're wrong. I've always said 1.05%.
No, you used to say.
No, you're lying.
No, I'm not lying. Now you're accusing me of lying, and I amended my comment to say that you were misstating because you may not remember. But you used to say less than 2%.
Okay. Well,
this is a relatively new phenomenon of you calling in.
Math. 600,000 divided by over 45 million is less than 1.05%.
Every year.
Just that simple, James.
Every year. So if I run into 100 blacks, at least one of them is statistically speaking, is gonna be a violent criminal per FBI stats. Whoa, that's huge.
That's a tiny, tiny fraction.
That is not tiny. That is significant.
If you look at white-collar crimes, then the same thing applies to white people.
I don't know that that's the case, actually, honestly.
Well, again, you look at FBI stats again.
Do you agree that 1 out of every 100 is way out of control?
Way out of control? No, it's less than. No, it's 1%, and it's not way out of control.
1% is every year. That's way out of control.
It's terrible.
And the FBI doesn't even have all the numbers.
It's terrible and it's awful, but it's not out of control by any means.
Yeah, it is. That is out of control.
Not out of control.
Yeah, it is. That's crazy. If you run into 100 whites, what do you think the chances are that one of those whites is going to be a criminal? Since you know the percentage of blacks that's a criminal, 1.05% per you. What is the percentage of whites?
Then that percentage goes much higher.
What is the percentage of whites?
That commit crimes?
Yeah, violent crimes.
Violent crimes, I'd have to look into that. I'm sure it's very, very small also.
Yeah, I would guess that if it's 1.05% among blacks, I would guess that it's maybe 0.25% among whites.
Well, that's huge, according to your numbers.
It is huge. It's bad. But 0.25% is like a fourth. Well, I don't know, 1.05.
I besmirch most of a population based on the actions of a tiny percentage, James.
But 1% is not tiny.
1% is tiny. Would you want only 1% of your bank account, James? No, because it's too small.
No, but if somebody took 1% of my bank account, that's pretty big.
If that's the case, I feel sorry for your bank account then.
Oh, whatever, man. Okay. Nice, man. Yeah, William and Hake and Joe all agree that one should not commit murders.
Of course.
Yeah. Or violent crimes, only justified violence.
Of course.
Yeah.
But the point I've been making with you for how many years now, that when you put the things out there, the stereotypes and denigrations and lies about most black people, James, that helps to contribute to the environment that leads to the psychopaths who doing these type of terrible crimes.
I tuned you out a little bit, but I know the point that you get to a lot. You start to talk like a liberal about justifying censorship, pretending that telling the truth about what's going on and preaching love is somehow sparking people to be hateful and commit violent crimes. Like you want to blame us for something that other people are doing. That's why you justify what's happened to based competitor Alex Jones and others like that.
Listen, Alex Jones lied, and
See?
he gets everything. He deserves everything he's getting now.
Do you notice that you're really easily swayed into changing the subject?
Oh my goodness! If that's not the podcast, calling this kettle black, that's your whole strategy, Jay.
No. But do you notice that you do that?
Yeah. James, I just know your game plan, and I don't follow along to let you derail things, and that's what you don't like.
But you're a liberal.
No, I'm a conservative, and I have the track record to prove it, and you don't.
You're not very conservative. If you're justifying censorship and blaming other people for something that somebody did, you're blaming other people for it.
I don't do those things. That's your narrative about me, but I do not do those.
Yeah,
things.
you do. You're saying that we're making it more dangerous for people like you because we're stereotyping and denigrating, according to you, most black people, which is not true. It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely true.
You're thinking like a liberal.
No, that's conservative, fact-based, honest thinking.
No, it isn't.
100% it is.
No, that's RINO. That's black RINO mama thinking.
That's your narrative, which is nonsense and not based in rooted in any kind of facts.
Yeah, because you have no facts.
You
have no facts.
Never heard me excuse or try to explain away bad behavior by the black thug. I'm the first person to ever say black thugs need to be gone and be held responsible. 100%.
You just changed the subject again. It has nothing to do with what we were talking about.
I'm just debunking, as usual, your usual BS narratives about me.
Oh, what a mess. feels like we're just two old grouches taking snipes at each other. Well, thank you, Joe. Very unenlightening.
We're never going
as
to
usual.
agree, most likely. So you have a good day anyway.
All right. You as well.
Bye.
Bye. Joe in Phoenix. You can call in 1-888-775-3773. Let me show you these quick headlines about the climate mess. Climate anxiety becoming a challenge, counselor says, per far-left CBC News. Is that the Canadian one? Canadian government-run news? July 2023, 1 month ago. As climate change raises temperatures and increases the impact of natural disasters around the world, is starting to take a toll on more than just property and land. Climate anxiety is increasingly becoming an issue, says Cecile Tucker, a registered clinical counselor, and they spell it with 2 L's. I can only assume that's British, who has seen a significant increase in climate anxiety since she began her practice almost a decade ago. So that's a 5-minute, almost 6-minute clip from Canada that I'll skip. Another nearly 5-minute clip from a year and a half ago. Almost a year ago, I guess. Greta Thunberg on how to tackle climate anxiety. The One Show, BBC, far left foreign outlet BBC. It's a British one. Lauren Laverne and Jermaine Janas, joined by, I guess those are the people from this British show, The One Show, joined by Greta Thunberg to chat about climate anxiety and her new book, The Climate Book, and also crocheted frog hats. And Evil YouTube linked to this Evil UN article in their thing, which they'll probably tag this video if you're watching it on YouTube later in the day or in coming days if it doesn't get blocked, which it shouldn't get blocked. What is climate change? United Nations. And I have this United Nations article, some screenshots from the UN article in the climate change mess folder. Climate mess. It's called screenshots. They're the ones that are called screenshots. What is climate change? United Nations climate action. Humans are responsible for global warming, says this UN. People are experiencing climate change in diverse ways. I notice how they try to say that it's blacks suffer from it the most. And of course, because they set up their lives to be vulnerable. Every increase in global warming matters. We face a huge challenge, but already know many solutions. Many climate change solutions can deliver economic benefits, blah, 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 blah. We can pay the bill now or pay dearly in the future. Climate action. What does that even mean? Requires significant financial investments by governments and businesses, is their last little headline. Money. The UN likes to stay relevant. Show the very last one, I think, is what it is. We can pay the bill now or pay dearly in the future. The scientists, interestingly enough, many of them don't create things of value themselves. They need to get subsidized from the government and from do-gooders who pay money to them. And so they get paid by hyping the problem. Isn't that interesting? Doctors, too. They get paid by problems in the world. So it's kind of some of them might fall to the temptation. Not saying that's what's happening here, but some might fall to the temptation, and politicians, too. They need there to be some crisis or other so that they can swoop in with their solutions, get paid, and get power, and spread their misery and anxiety. Here's an insane article from CBS. Climate anxiety impacting more than just young people. January of this year, 2023 AD. CBS 2's Vanessa Murdoch spoke with an expert about climate anxiety and a young woman who managed hers by taking action. Why is it always women? Usually, anyway. And female-minded liberal males. Because they worry. They worry. It's this feeling that just wells up, says Sophia Assag. A-S-S-A-G. Assag. Anxiety is something that takes over your body, she said. She shares that climate anxiety started to affect her during her senior year of high school. A little 17, 18-year-old. Maybe 16-year-old if she was a young prodigy. That's enough of that article. I'll ask for the, I don't know, those other ones were Greta. She got this climate anxiety when she enrolled in a class in high school. Public school, Global Futures / Global Warming. The class examined what life would be like in 2050. Like they even know. Remember those predictions? In the year 2000. Shaking my head. And that led to her to ask big questions. And what are those big questions? Dumb questions. Ridiculous questions. What am I doing? Is there going to be a future? There's this feeling of someone who is young who hasn't really set up a path yet. But do I want to have a family? Do I want to have kids? What is this world going to look like? Educated women. What a mess. We see this a lot in our practice, said Dr. Jamie Howard. Sounds like a woman again. A clinical psychologist with Child Mind Institute. Keep these women away from the child minds. Is there an age group where we see this most prevalent? I am seeing a lot of anxiety focused on the climate in school age and adolescent kids, says this Dr. Jamie Howard. Saying climate anxiety is more prevalent over the last decade than and is most common in those who have generalized anxiety disorder, chronic worries about everyday things. And there's a whole lot of kids already, children, with generalized anxiety disorder, if that's a real thing. Kids with generalized anxiety, very sensitive to the environment around them. Meaning, like, if Hassan's got me on edge, I'm very sensitive to that. But I'm not a kid. And I'm not too anxious about what Hassan is scheming, even though he's a little Children of the Corn cult leader inspired. Check him out on Wow Hassan on YouTube. All caps. Walking on Water Hassan, is all one word, is his @ on YouTube. Check him out on Wednesdays right after Hake. 11 Pacific, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. Interviewing his mama on Wednesday, maybe, I think. Last week it was his father. And it got a plug on church with JLP, by the way. Anyway, these kids need church. These women psychologists need church. According to Media and Climate Change Observatory at University of Colorado Boulder, number of television news stories on climate change or global warming increased by 85% from the year 2000 to 2021. In 21 years, it exploded. Makes sense when you consider this data from Climate Central on acceleration of billion-dollar disasters. In the year 2000, there were roughly 60 days between billion-dollar disasters. I wonder if that accounts for inflation, because $1 billion today, what was it worth 21 years ago, or 23 years ago? In 2021, just 18 days between billion-dollar disasters. In addition to climate, so that's what justifies the 85% increase in hype. Because a lot of it is hype. Hake, are you sponsored by CBC? This is wild propaganda. Straight face emoji with eyes closed, almost like Asian. Let's see. Climate anxiety and distress were correlated with perceived inadequate government response and associated feelings of betrayal. Based on responses from 10,000 young people around the globe, ball propaganda. Shout out to the ball tards like Hake. I'm a ball tard. even though I'm a honorary Flat Earth Society member for promoting the Flat Earth by arguing with them and pointing out the obvious globe and the horizon right here on the at the ocean. Survey revealed 59% very or extremely worried, 84% moderately worried, at least. More than 45% shared feelings about climate change negatively affected their daily life and functioning. They're quite scared about it, really internalizing it. So much that some teenagers will say, why even apply to college? What's it matter? What a mess. Ridiculous, huh? There was a Reuters article. Hold on. How should we deal with it? Climate activist Vanessa Nakate. Is that a Japanese gal? Told Sky News, far left extremist Australian Sky News, targeting the white countries, as Bill Lockwood said, green is the new red, as in communist, globalist socialism, redistributing America's wealth and the white country's wealth to other stuff. Getting their meddling mama fingers involved, these centralized governments, in a power grab and hype and political pressure. And using the youth. The youth are never for what's right, you'll notice. Ever. Once they get a little edumamacated. Have you noticed? Vanessa Nakate, another female young activist woman, said her climate anxiety had her feel like she was screaming at a wall and no one was listening. I know how that is. I'm screaming at the wall. Jesse's off center. Nobody's listening to Hake. Good thing I grew up pre-climate anxiety hype, right? Her fellow youth speaker, Greta Thunberg, shared how taking action helped her. Overwhelmed, sad, guilty, per this far-left Reuters article, 2021. Guilt, grief, and anxiety as young people fear for the climate's future, per far-left extremist outlet Reuters. Overwhelmed, sad, guilty, some of the emotions young people say they feel when they think of climate change and their concerns of world leaders will fail to tackle it. It reminds me of the gun control stuff. Remember the kids marched for the taking away the infringing on the right to own and carry awesome weapons? Remember that? March for Our Lives after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting in 2018, Valentine's Day. The kids had to do it because the adults won't do it. So these edumamacated liberal high schoolers, like that one guy whom a lot of people do not like that much. I preferred that dykey gal, Hispanic-seeming punker gal. I preferred her to that one guy. Anyway, they were campaigning against the guns. Just emotions about deaths, you know? Oh, we want to save lives, so this is the solution. Oh, we want to save the earth, so this is the solution. And they come up with the wrong solution. And they're emotional about it. Emotions are not a time for action, but they think activism is the solution to their emotions. Leading climate campaigner Greta Thunberg, who was 18 in 2021, has experienced severe climate anxiety. It's a quite natural response because, as you see, do I have any pictures of her? I feel like there's one picture of her all poised. She's like poised, sitting up straight, legs crossed. That one's not poised. But that's showing her climate anxiety, trying to spread her misery and intimidate and shame the lame-o politicians. Evil versus evil. She's experienced severe climate anxiety. It's quite a natural response because, as you see, as the world is today, that no one seems to care about what's happening. I think it's only human to feel that way. It's not human, it's animal. Man, there was one where she was sitting all poised. There was one where she met with Volodymyr Zelensky, and she looked like a young woman of poise. Oh, look at her. How can you dislike that gal? I got to end this. When you take action, says this gal, you also get a sense of meaning that something is happening. If you want to get rid of that anxiety, you can take action against it, she said. No, wrong thing to do, gal. So right on, Michael Knowles. He was speaking love, mentally ill Swedish child being exploited and exploiting. Terrible. Anyway, we're past the top of the hour. It's Men's History Month. Let's listen to something manly. This track is entitled Freefall, parentheses, From Hand to Hand, by Stavesacre from the 1999 album Speakeasy. I hope you enjoy it, you musical Philistines. Grin and bear it. Grin and bear it. Or cover your ears, sing la la la, press mute, go outside, shovel snow, rake your leaves, plant your garden, harvest your crops. Watch out for Tropical Storm Idalia if you're in Florida. And watch out for the heat. It's like going to be 93 today in Cali. Even in this area, which normally it doesn't get too high into the 80s. Whew. We're kind of near the coast. But I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2. Free Fall from Hand to Hand, Stavesacre.
Sleepless eyes open wide. Before heaven I stand again. If there's no winning this war tonight, I was wondering if you could steady my spinning here. Trusting is hard and hard. I wish you were here beside me. My failures, my fears and doubts have been haunting me. I'm just not who I thought I'd be. Crossing over from living to soul alive and purified. I know weeping is gas for the night, but
joy. Isn't this manly? Not wrong.
And fell short of my standards.
Fell short of my standards.
Now what am I left with?
Kind of nice, huh? So good. Mark Solomon. What are you guys saying? Oh yeah, we're looking at, on the video feed, Mount Wilson Trail, Sierra Madre. Beautiful area. Joy comes in the morning. Yeah, that's on iPhone. iPhone video. Horrible pedestrian music, says Chevalier. Music is powerful. Yes, more of this. Better than Devo. Bring back Chung, as in Jackie Cheung. Hake needs to bump some Mastodon. Sounds like Ozzy, says R. Galunas. Yeah, that's what they were saying when I first played Stavesacre. Anyway, that's nice. Thanks for bearing with me through that, fellas. Have more Christian punk to play for you. Okay. I'm tired of the climate stuff. I'm sure all of you are too. Let's get to this. It's a blue moon on Wednesday. Super blue moon on Wednesday. I had to look this up. The far left CNN, Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, mentioned on Sunday that grab the bug spray and head outside to catch a glimpse of the super blue moon on Wednesday. If it gets dark in time for you. For us, it'll still be light out. It will reach its peak. Well, maybe it'll still be there. It'll reach its peak around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Despite its name, the moon won't actually appear blue. And so I had to search super blue moon, I had to search super moon, and I had to search blue moon. And I have some, do I have pictures of the blue moon thing? I thought that I had some pictures of my searches. It's pretty cool, though. A blue moon, did you know, you farmers know, probably, right? Like Blazing Hogs. Is Blazing Hogs still here? Let's see. Moon. Do I have it? Oh, I don't think. Let's see. Super blue moon. Let me drag it into the folder. I didn't put it in there. Terrible. Not prepared. See if I can copy it in. It's copying super blue moon. Okay. There, it's in the folder now. What is it? A blue moon is an additional full moon that appears in a subdivision of the year, such as a month, right? Twice in a month. If you have 2 full moons in a month, that's a blue moon. The third or 4 full moons in a season. The third of 4 full moons in a season. A blue moon. Well, there's also a phenomenon whereby a moon appears bluish because of smoke or dust particles in the atmosphere, such as supposedly people saw blue moons for years after the 1883 eruption of Krakatoa. Krakatoa. That was a huge explosion, I heard. Krakatoa. Dang, I heard about that. But a second full moon in a calendar month is a blue moon. Nice, huh? And a supermoon is a phenomenon where the moon, whereby the moon appears particularly large in the sky, and it's not just because it's close to the horizon, I guess, but it's close to its closest approach in its approach to Earth, right? With a full or new moon. A supermoon is the full moon or new moon that nearly coincides with pedigree, the closest that the moon comes to Earth in its elliptical orbit. Do the flat earthers think that the moon is orbiting? Do the flat earthers believe in orbit? Shout out to the flat earthers. Resulting in a slightly larger than usual apparent size of the moon is viewed from Earth. Technical name is a pedigree syzygy, whatever. So August's blue moon, with the biggest full moon of 2023, rises this week. A rare super blue moon arrives this week. So Wednesday. 25% of full moons are super moons. Just 3% of full moons are blue moons, according to far left NASA. I don't know why I called them far left there. You just show through all those things if you have them there, Hassan. Cool, huh? Moon is so cool. I remember Matt Living the Dream said one time on another show that it could be concave rather than convex. Rather than a ball, it's just a hollow pan. Potentially. Could be. Which is baffling. Hake chooses the photo with a mosque. I didn't even notice that there was a... Is that a mosque? Oh, goodness. No, that was Hassan. Blame Hassan for that. Cool. Pretty awesome, though. They have different names, the farmers do. A sturgeon moon was... I showed you guys what a sturgeon was at the beginning of this month, I guess, during Men's History Month. It's an awesome fish. I almost said something else. Hassan's zooming in on that. It was a sturgeon moon on August 2nd. So cool. Whew. So awe-inspiring. Awesome. God's creation. Am I right? Or no? Okay, so that's that. Quick side note. I don't know if this is a favor to ask on a username. I'm almost embarrassed to ask this. I wonder if I should skip this. I remember Marcus Jones Stinks changed his name. He used to be called Marcus Jones. And I kept on calling it Stinks, so he changed his name for me. Because I didn't want to say sucks. Don't say sucks, kids. And so I don't even know if Marcus Jones Stinks is still around. But he changed it for me. So I guess I'll ask. Will the Rumble person who goes by Hake something's Christianly be so kind as to change it to be something... Because I don't even like that word. That's too vulgar. Some people in the Rumble might not like that, and I don't like it. I mean, I don't care that much, but there are families who go, and Rumble is a family-friendly, child-friendly, and children are not supposed to say that word that much. So thank you, Hake Something's Christianly, in advance if you're willing to adjust your username. Hopefully you can change it. I know that some other person was all excited about that name. It was amusing. It's amusing, I suppose. So, anyway, that's that. Let's keep it moving. This one is also embarrassing and funny to me. Clip 13. I'm going to skip clip... Yeah, clip 13. This is an old commercial that I thought of anytime I raise my hands, and I wanted to share it with you because it reminded me of these Republicans who had their little thing, their little debate last week, and they had to raise their hands if they're going to support Trump, and one of them was very sure. He raised his hand all the way. I guess I don't have to cover it up because I'm wearing a dark blue / shirt, so I don't have to worry that anything like that is showing. But clip 13, raise your hands if you're sure, deodorant commercial from Sure. And it's more than just a deodorant. It must be antiperspirant because deodorant doesn't stop you from sweating. It just stops it from stinking. Or it covers the stink with some nice smell. It's supposedly a 1985 commercial. Beautiful song. I remember it specifically towards the end. Here it is. Enjoy.
Raise your hand. You got it. Raise your hand. You know it. You feel confident, secure.
If you want to feel confident, raise your hand. If you want to feel secure, raise your hand. If you want protection that helps you feel dry all day, raise your hand and reach for sure.
Confident, dry and secure. Raise your hand if you're sure. Raise your hand if you're sure.
Terrible. Okay, that's embarrassing. So clip 41D. This is what I thought of when I saw this. This is the Republican debate from last week. And I put it in slow motion so we can see the order of who raises their hand and how high. Here's the Republicans, the RINOs, excluding Trump, obviously, on whether they would support Trump even if he were convicted and became the nominee. Here's, because, they're going after him. They got his mugshot and all that stuff. The black woman from Atlanta, the shameless black woman. Had to be a shameless black woman. But here it is. 41D.
Former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
Vivek, Nikki, Tim Scott, that other guy I don't know, and then finally DeSantis, and then finally Pence, and then a little bit sort of iffy Chris Christie, and then not that other guy, Asa Hutchinson. Pretty amusing. Here's what I thought of. Clip 14, another supposedly hilarious commercial of deodorant Sure, Unsure 2 by one Lawrence Bridges, whoever that is. Here's that another 90s, 80s commercial. Here you guys go, and then we'll move on.
Sure. Unsure.
Whoa.
Sure. Unsure. Sure. Unsure. When dryness really counts, be sure to be dry. Sure Solid has the most effective wetness-fighting ingredient you can buy. For dryness no one can beat. So you're either sure or unsure. Sure. Unsure.
They don't want to lift
be
up their
sure
hands.
To be dry.
Terrible. I disavow dryness. I disavow antiperspirant. I remember this one, says Strifecast. Follow the leader and the crowd, says Argalunas. Yeah, I know, huh? That was my other point about that climate mess. They're just following the crowd. The crowd is never right. Oh, it's 60 years since the so-called civil rights march on Washington with 250,000 people. Anything with 250,000 people at it, 100,000, it's okay. because that was Trump, right? January 6th, 100,000 maybe. But 250,000? No. No way. You know that's wrong. Hake is sponsored. No, I don't. I disavow antiperspirant because it irritates the skin. Because it has, one of the Asians told me, or Pacific Islanders in high school, that it has aluminum in it and it clogs your pores so that you don't sweat. That's not good. It hurts. No, just regular deodorant's plenty. I know some people who don't even do it. Chris Crispy is ridiculously untruthful, says Lorasm. L-R-A-S-M. Yeah, he raised his hand, and then he pointed, and then he waved off like he didn't raise his hand. He said, I did this, I didn't do this. But he did this. I'm lifting up one hand. And he did it all low. He didn't raise up his hand all sure. Like Vivek Ramaswamy, he was sure. He was like, pick me, pick me. Yeah. Pretty funny. I was listening to American Anchor Baby's Friday show, and he got an interesting call from Zeus on Vivek and Christians and stuff like that. Cool. Some deodorants have aluminum too? How? So that I had to show that. Somebody edit together, if it's a good idea, a clip of Vivek being sure, and then Ron DeSanctimonious being unsure. All right. Let me get to Men's History Month man, Art from Ohio on the line. What's up, Art?
What's up with Hake, baby.
Not much. People been asking about you.
Man, I had to just take a little break or whatnot. I had to get some things together or whatnot, but I don't
Say
want to
no
talk
more.
about
I understand that. Go for it.
Well, I don't want, it's about your show. I don't want to take the spotlight off your show. I'm just, a piece of your show, a part of your show. So it's all about your show
nice.
And your chat, so it's just crazy how me and you always had that little connection, and you probably like, what you talking about, a connection? You brought up a point that I had been thinking about. You was talking about that Bimaswamy guy.
Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah. Okay, and then you was talking about like DeSantis, and when they had that little Republican, what's it called? That little GOP meeting thing or whatnot on TV.
Yeah, that so-called debate.
Okay. So did you see how all of them was acting scared to raise their hand besides the alleged Indian guy?
Right.
Okay,
I saw that.
So my first thing is that America has stolen that bad to where people are afraid to speak up and stand up for what's right. But I can't even be mad at them because they all paid for by the big bankers, and they all see what's going on with Donald Trump. So why would they want to stand up? You know what I mean, for what's right or whatnot. And my thing is this: you would be crazy to think that Bimaswamy or any of them other people that was running, you might as well scratch all of them out of the picture for running for office. Because if you ain't got if the American people ain't seeing what's going on by now, you can't just put no person in there besides a person like Trump. Because first of all, you got to have backbone, you got to have your own mind. Second thing is you better have your own money, because if you ain't got your own money, you see how they run him through the court system.
Yeah.
And you gotta have money to go through what he's going through. Because anybody that's a regular person, that the big bankers is funding them or whatnot, they ain't gonna speak up and stand up because they getting funding from these people that me and you were talking about. So we can't expect them to speak up and be on the same page as what Trump is on, because they all bought and paid for. Trump ain't bought and paid for because he's his own independent man.
Right. That is so nice.
So my thing is to the Republican and even the Democratic Party or whatnot, anybody that's for the lower class, middle class, and the upper class, you can't support none of them. Now the Democrats don't change the game plan so bad from how the narrative that they don't set to where they're attacking their political opponents and using the justice system to attack them or whatnot, and try to run them dry with the money. So now you got to find, just like I said, you got to find somebody that is just like Trump, got his own business, got his own money, because any of them are all bought and paid for, besides a person like Trump. And I told you, and there's one more thing, and I'm gonna let you speak because I've been big mouthed. I didn't already baby tell you about Ron DeSantis. I told you, hey.
Wow.
I told you. You don't remember I told you that he was that he ain't like Trump, and he basically was running off of how Trump was basically how he was running Florida. Ron DeSantis was basically running Florida off of how Trump was trying to run America. Whatnot. Ron DeSantis is basically in an analogy, Donald Trump's little brother. He's a mirror image. He's trying to be like. But if you notice, he looked left and right like a follower or whatnot, because he don't have his own mind. He's a follower. He ain't a leader, and that's what separates him, like people like Donald Trump and him and any of these other bought and paid for politicians.
I think you're right on that. You know, I had given him an excuse when I covered that on my show, where he looked around first before raising his hand. I said maybe he was asleep and not paying attention. You know how you tune out the debate that you're in the middle of, and you're kind of lame like that. But that also shows a lack of attentiveness, whether he was being a follower and a coward, or just being inattentive and in his head. He's kind of a beta, and I hold nothing against him for being a beta, except that it's not his time. It's not his time.
And if you notice, think about this. You seen that one clip when he was on the golf course or whatnot. They was asking him a question or something about him raising his hand. And if anybody like me and like you can read a person's body language and how their facial expression looks. That man is scared to death, just like the rest of them other politicians. If they scared to death, I'm not mad at them, because it ain't no different to a criminal in Chicago and a regular civilian citizen. If the police ain't locking up the criminals or whatnot, what make you think that the citizens going to come tell on them when the alleged criminal is going to be out the next day and potentially try to kill the person that told on them? Interesting,
man. Yeah. That's terrible, man. The world is evil. It's treachery.
Americans don't fail so much to where the left and the liberals don't set the narrative to where they backing their own self. They think that they trying to hunt and come and trying to get Donald Trump, but they really getting they self. They backing their own self into a corner.
Yeah, that's so true, man. They're just this black woman who's going after Trump. Isn't it so typical? Like, that's of course the person that they're going to use to go after him, or that they'll welcome him going after her going after him. It's ridiculous.
She got a curse on her, just like a lot of these other black liberal females and these white liberal female ladies too, or whatnot. The same way they got curses on them. They don't even see that they being used or whatnot. But as my favorite saying is, just like Jesse be saying too, it's two devils fighting, and the devils is going to support devils. You can't expect them not to.
Yeah, true. Man, it's good to hear from you, Art.
Always and forever, and I'll catch you later, Hake. I appreciate you for taking my call. Shout out to Lord Bibby and the greatest chat on this side of heaven, Hake's chat.
Nice, man. Take care.
I'll catch you. Yep.
All right. I will get to your super chats, guys. I know I got a lot of them to get to, but first, my favorite caller is on the line, Maze from the sundown town of Dayton, Ohio. How you doing, Maze?
Hello, James.
Hey.
That was so nothing. But
that was so nothing?
I talk about climate change.
You're talking about climate change?
Climate change, yes.
Climate change.
One of my points I want to make.
Oh, okay.
Now, we look at climate change, so we got we can have smoke come from Canada all across the U.S. We can have a balloon come from somewhere all across the U.S. So that's affecting people. And then you got a war over in Ukraine, bullets from flying, and where's that stuff going? From all
you're talking about the bullets?
Going in the water.
Say again?
And all of this stuff is going in the water.
Oh, the bullets are going into the water?
Yeah, and the nuclear plant, they getting ready to release stuff in the water.
Yeah, Fukushima.
Who's drinking it? The liberals or the Democrats? Or everybody?
Everybody will be drinking that.
Okay,
except for China. China's not going to... China will not be buying seafood from Japan because of their Fukushima water that they're dumping in.
But I'm saying, who's going to be drinking? The liberals and the Democrats, right?
Everybody.
Okay, everybody's going to be drinking. That's when if you had a sight of something, seeing things like that,
Uh-huh.
maybe you can use your brain and think for yourself. And my second question is, how do you train?
Wait, what's your point with that?
Huh?
Before you move on to your second question, what's your point about the wars?
For somebody to make money.
Oh, the climate change thing is for somebody to make money?
Yes.
So you agree with me? It's about money, in
That's what
part.
it is,
Money
making
and power,
Fooling people
and
that
ego.
can fall for it.
Ruling over the people, and they
use
fall
your
for
brain
it.
to think. Yes.
Right.
So can I get to my second point?
Yeah, go for it.
So, on the debate the other day, what's his name? The vice president for Trump. What was his name?
Pence. Mike Pence.
Yeah, Mike Pence.
Uh-huh.
Now, you heard him say that he chose the Constitution over what Trump wanted him to do. What is that supposed to mean? Explain it to me, please.
Oh, he thinks that the Constitution means that he cannot send the votes back to the states, whereas Trump says that some lawyers think that Trump is right, that he could. It's a debatable point, I guess, but he thinks it was the constitutional for him to do what he did, which...
Oh, so that's part of what... That's part of the problem that people think that people jumping on him about, because they found him guilty enough to go to court, and the courts found him enough to indict him. So that's what happened.
I don't know what you just said.
I said Mike Pence said he wanted him to do something that for him, but he chose the Constitution instead of doing what he wanted him to do.
Right. Okay. So on January 6th, 2021 AD, Mike Pence, as the Vice President of the United States, was to officiate the ratifying or whatever of those votes, and that the Electoral College votes. But Mike Pence, what Trump wanted Mike Pence to do was send him back to the states, but Mike Pence didn't do that. He chose what he thinks was the Constitution. So that was just one of the things that Trump was trying to do. One of the ways that, by hook or by crook, that Trump was trying to do to save the republic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was he trying to
subvert democracy in order to save the republic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. That's your opinion, and that's mine.
No, well, yeah, it's an accurate description.
After Fanny booked Trump, and you were when he was speaking Friday when he came. I mean, whatever day he went to Georgia. When he came out and he was speaking, he said, "I thought." Now, Justice said, "All thoughts are last." He said he thought he won. Go back and play the tape. Play it for your people so they can hear it, so they can say I'm just saying things. See, I listen to learn, not listen to have an argument or just to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So he thought he won.
Yep. So his thoughts lied to him, and so he didn't win, and that's now why America's losing.
So America's not losing because of that reason.
Oh, it's losing for that reason and many others.
Really?
Yeah. America would not be losing as bad were Trump still in his rightful place.
Is how do you train a man?
Huh?
How do you train a man?
How you train a man depends on what you're training him for. You crack the whip.
Yes, he said he was trained. So I want to understand, how do you train?
Oh, you're talking about when he was
How did he say he was trained?
Trained by the unions to organize and protest and stuff like that?
No, he wasn't speaking of the unions and all protest.
There's many different types of training. You train a man for work. You train a man for rabble rousing. Mm-hmm. You train a man to buy a horse. Many different ways of training.
Well, do you train one to think for himself? And if he don't think like you,
No.
you shouldn't be upset?
No, that's not a matter of training. Maybe it's a sort of a mental discipline, but that's more given to you by the Spirit of God.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
everybody's spirit is not like you all spirit, and we do not follow. Some people can't be trained to follow.
Oh yeah, some of them you have to break their spirit. You have to break their spirit like that horse.
That's why we saw all those people on January 6th go inside that Capitol and do what they did.
What'd they do?
Because they were following.
Yeah, they shouldn't have followed.
And I'll be there with you. Remember those last words. So with nobody jumping on 45, is y'all thinking somebody jumping on him? So it's like I said, I'm waiting for him to go sit down in court to clear himself.
Clear himself.
Who's himself? What?
Himself.
Himself. That's right. Now you're
Nice.
saying he got money. If he had money, why are you still begging from the poor people every time you go to court? Every time you get indicted?
Oh, because
Who's giving him money?
it's because you
Rich
gotta.
people don't beg for money.
Because you gotta.
Okay?
It takes money to promote the truth.
If you rich, you don't need nobody else's money.
Yeah, huh?
Why?
Because you got to raise money for campaigning.
You don't
and people,
raise money.
And
you
people
rich.
want to donate.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you say so. That's all I needed to know. I need to know answers. I don't need to hear a whole lot of blabbering and all that
Right.
stuff. Then
Yep.
what I got out of that debate was the inner city and putting people away in jail, and that's all you got out of there. They ain't saying nothing they're gonna do for this country.
Oh. Yeah, I know. Bunch of Republicans. Lamos. Lamos. I agree. They're lame.
So when you hear somebody saying
you support
Democrat,
Trump?
What?
You support Trump?
No, I don't support Trump.
Oh,
I don't
why
have
not?
to support Trump because I don't want to.
Oh,
Is that good enough?
that's fine. That'll do.
Well, you have a good one.
Thank you, Maze. Appreciate you. Take care.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Maze from the sundown town of Dayton, Ohio. Same town as Blazing Hogs, who may or may not sling cattle. And he knows the Farmer's Almanac. He may know about supermoons and things like that. So I am remiss in not getting to the super chats. I have a ton to plow through. Let's go through the Rumble rants first. Evil is still real, says Greta Thunberg. Maybe he wrote it more Greta Thunberg, I don't know. Is super duper R-worded, etarded Ray, but not quite smooth-brained R-worded, etarded Ray enough to be in the Hake YouTube chat. Aw, filled with the most etarded Ray, flat earther, not morally straight Christians on our beautiful globe. Well, Greta Thunberg, if you're listening, you're mildly attractive. Don't worry your pretty little head about politics and the climate. That's men's work. Rest easy, child. And when I say child, I mean young lady, because she's a young lady now. And I use the term lady loosely, just because she's a brainwashed blind liberal. But shout out to the Swedish, they can't help it. Evil is still real with another Rumble rant. Animals are not capable of committing quote-unquote crimes. So the animal-like, he says chimp, but I disavow that, of course. Lawyer from Arizona, should be arguing that blacks commit no crimes. Oh, they're not capable of it, he says. Shout out to the based non-criminals. It says evil is still real. I disavow this entire Rumble rant, but thank you, sir. He's kidding around. It's all in good fun. He loves everybody. He's a Christian. Evil is still real asks, and I missed this Rumble rant. I apologize. I'm remiss. Evil is still real. Does Joe from Phoenix, that's one of my first callers today, third caller, I guess, including the false start, think that a conservative means a R-worded, G-worded chimp? Kind of funny. But I disavow that. Evil is still real says, spoiler alert, saying on Rumble, the easiest way to super chat is to buy me a coffee. FYI, spoiler alert, the easiest way to super chat if you're listening on Rumble is to buy a Rumble rant, you chat tard. Whoa, shots fired at my greatest moderator. And I got to add spoiler alert as a moderator. That reminds me. But while I'm working on that, I shall read the rest of the super chats. That's the Rumble rants for today. Thank you, guys. There was speaking of spoiler alert, there was a super chat from Spoiler Alert on Friday that I didn't get to, I don't think. Correcting the record. Spoiler alert sometimes gives fake news, okay? He doesn't know better, but he gives you what he believes to be true. Upon further review, says Spoiler Alert, buying a coffee, it seems that Alice Cooper's, and that's a man. Imagine a man named Alice Cooper. You know that music is liberal. He's a musician. I almost said she. Alice Cooper's quote about I'll tell you in a second, was said in jest during an interview at after a concert. I tell them I'm just a regular old Jewish kid, and all the little old ladies are comforted. And by the end of the show, they're saying he's a very nice young man. Because he plays devilish music, or used to anyway. Now he's a Christian. No, I think he was raised Christian. Although there is a small Jewish newspaper in New York State which claims that Alice Cooper is Jewish. 99%, though, of sources say he is not. And so I will disavow my earlier comment. Alice Cooper is apparently not ethnically Jewish, although he was raised Christian. Interesting, huh? Sort of interesting. Moderation. Moderators. Boom. Add moderators. Spoiler alert. And Asmodor. Moderators on Rumble. Cool. Hopefully that works. So, yeah. Alice Cooper. He's not what you think. Tabor J. Eaton bought a coffee. Jesus having one too many glasses of wine? What the... And then XD emoji where he scrunches his eyes and smiling. Funny. Maybe I shouldn't have done that face. I wonder what that looked like. Carver bought a thank you, Tabor J. Eaton or Tabor. That was that harkens back to JLP's show in which Jesse said, do you think Jesus looked like he might have had one too many glasses of wine? They had cups back then, first of all. They did not have glasses of wine, I don't think. But I disavow what JLP said. Carver bought a coffee. Thanks for watching the Hake Report, sponsored by Sure. When dryness really counts, be sure. And last, big super chat from Based America First over on Buy Me a Coffee. 2 coffees. The U.S. economy is obviously doing so well that Sleepy Joe must keep telling us how great it is. Fuel price affects the cost of living, the cost of everything, and is headed to the highest levels since 2022, which was a high anyway. There's no strategic petroleum reserve remaining for Joe Obama to abuse. On Friday, Sleepy Joe presented ideas, as demented as he is. I came to office determined to change the economic direction of this country. And surely he did, because Trump had it going well. And to move from trickle-down economics, that's a buzzword that the libs have been saying since Reagan, to my middle-out, bottom-up version, Bidenomics. Wow. Tax and spend and trickle-down phrases are used to deride lowering taxes as benefiting only the wealthy, except taxing, spending, and inflation are what the government does. The economic direction of the country has been changed for the worse. Does middle out mean drive out the middle class and bottom up mean more people are at the bottom? Yeah. So far, his smart investments in America have given tax money to foreign companies to build manufacturing plants that have run into union/regulatory delays, forcing green technology that directly benefits China, increased minimum wage that eliminates jobs and opportunities for jobs, and supporting unions that drive cost up plus donate to demon rats. Crooked Biden wants to claim credit for lowering drug prices, but Trump did that. Oh yeah, banning non-compete agreements in the guise of helping small business is a mixed bag. They can be abused, but generally show up for high-skilled jobs where the business significantly invests in employee training or where someone has access to valuable trade secrets. Junk fees have proliferated under Bidenomics to hide price increases. Eliminating junk fees seems like a good idea, but it won't reduce costs. The fees will simply shift where they are ultimately included in the final price anyway. Interesting. What a mess. That's Bidenomics for you. Terrible. Shameful. Let me double check on the super chats over on Odyssey and D Live. Shall I open the treasure chest for you guys? Oh, I don't know if I can. Let's see what I can do. Let's see how much chest there is. Thank you, Kid Combo 1, for your lemon. Let me see if I can do this. Distribute the awards. It was a fair criticism regarding easiest way to super chat. I was reposting my post from YouTube chat to Rumble. It says, spoiler alert. Yeah, on YouTube, the easiest way is to go to thehakereport.com and click the Buy Me a Coffee thing. Ooh, Let me get to supposedly a first-time caller, John from Kentucky. Not to be confused with Kentucky John, we shall see. John from Kentucky, is this your first time calling? Hey!
First time, hey. Howdy,
Nice.
howdy.
Going well. How about you?
Good, good. How's it going?
Going well. It is indeed your first time. You're not to be confused with the Black Hebrew Israelite John from Kentucky.
No. My name is John Galvani. I'm out here.
Nice.
Out here in
Doxed.
Kentucky.
Nice.
I live in Ballsack, Kentucky. I want to know your take on Oliver Anthony. What do you think about his music?
His music is catchy. I enjoy his music. The song that I heard, and maybe this 2 songs or so that I heard. Catchy.
You like? Amazing, ain't it?
It's cool. Yeah. It is. Music is crazy. It's cool. I think it's the Satan's language, but it's cool. He is a liberal.
Are you gonna play it on his? He's a liberal.
Yeah, because all musicians are liberal.
He's woke.
Is he? He's woke.
You tell me, man.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
God forbid.
Yeah, true.
God forbid he's a homo.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. That man was not from Kentucky. He was lying. He was a graduate. But thank you for your call, sir. It was amusing. Justin in Fullerton, California is on the line. What's up, Justin?
Oh, hey, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Well, I just wanted to read a quick excerpt of our president's statement before he turned himself in. He said, but today, this is from his letter, he said, I'm walking into the lion's den with one simple message on behalf of our entire movement. I will never, this is all in caps, I will never surrender our mission to save America. When I walk into the jail to get wrongfully arrested, I will not cower, I will not sulk, I will not stand, he says, I will stand, tall and remain resolute in our mission to save America. And the last thing, to contradict what Mays said about rich people that should not ask others for money when what they're going through, he says, and if you see me on TV during my sham arrest, just remember that you are the source of my courage and hope and my resolve to save our country. And if you are doing poorly due to the sinister people in control of our country right now, don't even think about donating. So that, to me, shows the resolve of, yes, a billionaire, but to clearly communicate it's if you're willing to participate in contributing to his case.
Yeah.
Something that's, I would think, even more evil than Oliver Anthony, you know? Because a lot of people think that, a lot of left people think that because you're rich, you know, you're supposed to give everything. But a lot of those left people are hypocritical and don't even do anything to make the dollar stronger. That's why,
right.
I mean, Oliver Anthony said it's not worth anything these days, our dollar, and that we're being taxed to no end. So I think it's an American trait that if you wish to give up your money, if you're poor, don't give it up. Save it. Take care of your family. Take care of your community. But if you got something that you want to contribute against the corrupt government we currently have, then yeah, they should definitely pitch in whatever they can, whatever they want.
Man, that's a nice point, because Trump he is not about exploiting people. He's for the people. Great quote, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so just want to chime on in, and I hope you have a great day, and maybe later we'll talk more about Oliver Anthony, because from Kentucky, or that fake Kentucky guy.
Yeah.
I don't really know why he blew up so much, but I did want to kind of dive into that maybe some other time, how he just blew up so fast. That is kind of weird.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah. Feel free. Call me tomorrow or anytime you want on that. All right. Take care. Bye. Justin in Fullerton. I hung up because I hung up real fast because I didn't want to hear that click. Okay. A little correction on Sleepy Joe Biden. They call him Sleepy Joe, but that's for no reason, no good reason anyway, because he was not sleeping. This is old news, but I didn't fall for it. Ben Ryan Reiter tweeted, this is oldish news from, I guess that was when he visited, what was that place called? Hawaii or some Maui, that where they had that crazy fire that some of you guys were concerned about. No, Biden was not sleeping at that Maui memorial. Just to correct the record on, some of you guys may think he was sleeping. He was bowing his head in solemnity. That's his way. He's just sleepy, but he's not sleeping. He's like, yes, I'm praying because I lost my son, Bo. And I almost lost my wife and my Corvette and my cat. But in all seriousness, I pray for you guys to the devil because I'm a evil, liberal, abortion-supporting, fake Catholic. Shout out to the Catholics. He was not NBC News fact-checked those conservative pundits. Is it called pundits? Falsely claiming Biden was sleeping at the Maui Memorial using low-quality video that distorts how Biden appears. Made the false claim go viral. You can check the high-quality C-SPAN video and find out that he did not indeed fall asleep. He was made the conscious choice to bow his head as he did with that Israeli president, the Israel president. Remember that guy? He didn't meet up with the Israel Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi. This is not someone nodding off. Anyway, so that's just a little minor correction. I find in the other folder those scars. I mentioned those silly kids, young people. I found this on Morbid Fold. Warning, half naked. He's like half naked. He has his t-shirt off. And he's showing his crazy scars. Anthony Borges. So cover your eyes, ladies and children and men with weak stomachs. But Anthony Borges, the then 15-year-old boy, Morbidful tweeted this out. Then 15-year-old boy who used his body, allegedly, according to this story, to shield his classmates during the Parkland school shooting. You know, that one that I told you about with those kids who protested against their lives? March against our lives. March for our lives against the Second Amendment. He was shot 5 times. Look at him. Ooh. And he has crazy hair. But you can see the scars. Almost reminiscent of that. Remember that slave who got beaten and by his stripes we are healed? Jesus type of scars on his back. That slave with the crazy whip lashes on his, lashing scars on his back. Must have been a bad slave. Anyway, he has crazy scars from... Zoom in on that. I know it's a little gross, but zoom in on it because I want to be able to see the... I guess they stitched him up. He survived. Good for him, man. Wild. And that's pretty... that's some physical bravery. Physical bravery. If true. I wonder if he can walk and all that stuff. I wonder how functional his body is after that, taking those hits. Anthony Borges. And it's morbidful. Usually morbid usually means that he's dead. It has to do with death. But he survived. I guess. So, right on, man. Okay, that's enough of that. Zoom back out. Sorry, kids, ladies, gentlemen. Anthony Borges. There's an Instagram account for him that's... Oh, Lord, he's an anti... Wait, is he for guns or against guns? Oh, no, he's cut him some slack. There's some dumb liberals who are promoting, going and violating the Second Amendment for him on his behalf because he got shot. Shot by liberals in a liberal town, and liberal solutions to liberal symptoms creates more liberalism. It's not a solution. The solution is good families and less anger, not more anger. Anger causes mass shootings, and then anger is their solution to mass shootings with the angry response to go after the guns and blame NRA and whites and people who had nothing to do with it. Terrible. Ridiculous. Anyway, guys, this has been the Hake Report. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed parts of it anyway, right? I have some music to share with you. Let me just double check on all the super chats. Okay, cool. One more refresh, because this happens. These people sneak them in on me. Yeah, so make sure you catch American Anchor Baby at noon Pacific time today. Make sure you catch Church with Jesse Lee Peterson yesterday. It was excellent. It was excellent. One guy said it was boring. Talk about blind or closed ears. I know what Jesus said. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. That person did not hear. This track is Hindsight or Clarity. It's from the 1999 album For the Working Class by Left Out. It is a Christian song. I hope you enjoy it, you musical Philistines. I'll sit with you through it. Here is Left Out. Hindsight or Clarity. Enjoy. And adios, America. Oh, yeah. This song is okay. This music will decrease all testosterone.
Left our lives without even leaving footsteps. New lovers come and the whole world's all done.
Reminiscent of The Clash for Hake.
Hollow comfort's the only thing you trust in. One night's sleep, the only thing that's good.
Kind of fun.
You're stumbling through this world when you're closed. Believing that joy is something you will never hold.
Isn't it kind of Clash-esque? Drummer is mid. Chili Peppers cover? I love it. Joel Friday on Tuesdays.
Oh, come on, wake up. Can't you see you're dying? 22 with life already over?
It's Christian.
I thought you had your head screwed on this morning, but tonight I'm thinking of someone new.
Nice.
You're stumbling through this world with your closed, believing that joy is something you will never hold.
Guitarists should not sing. Isn't it kind of fun?
God hears you when you're crying.
God hears you when you're crying.
There's a better life, better ways been planned.
No, The Clash are a great band. This is just nonsense. It's Christian nonsense.
Just be strong. Gotta change this pattern. Just be strong. He'll lend you a hand. You're stumbling through this world when you're closed, believing that the joy is something you will never hold.
Come on, isn't it okay?
Messed up, hurt, crying, believing your own lies are true. Yeah, you're messed up, hurt, and crying, believing your own lies are true.
It's a vibe. For me. I like it. Most Strokes song are Christian, says Space Cadet. Well, adios, America. Bye.